Build professional skills this semester with Adobe Creative Cloud and create standout work both in and out of the classroom. Save big on professional creativity tools. Students get 65% off Adobe Creative Cloud, including Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, Acrobat Pro, and 20+ creative apps. No matter what project you're working on, Adobe Creative Cloud apps can help you take it to the next level. Visit adobe.com/student to learn more.
Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
It's still the off-season, and now is the time to separate yourself from the rest of the coaches in the profession. The best coaches don't relax in the off-season, they use it to grow. And today we're going to talk about one thing every coach should do in the off-season to set themselves up for long-term success. This episode is brought to you by the Coach Portal. The Coach Portal gives you the opportunity to get ready for your next move. To do that, go to coach-portal.com, enter the code CCPODCAST, and make your next move. Joining us today to discuss this topic is the Special Teams Coordinator at UCLA, Bailey McElwain.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here today and looking forward to talking.
So, Coach, we're going to dig into this today, and we've been running this series, The Next Move, which is presented by Coach Portal here, and the idea is we just want to share some tips that every coach can grow from in the profession. We spend all of our time on the X's and O's, and sometimes we neglect thinking about the strategy behind how do we grow ourselves and where are we going from here. So we'd love to hear some of your tips for things that coaches should do in the off season.
Yeah, I think first, when you look at approaching the off season, it's, trying to figure out how we can improve, right? I think that's the ultimate goal. What do we do well and what can we do better and improve on? And so I think first identifying those things, right? And as you go through the process, oftentimes, especially as a coordinator, you have blind spots, right? And I think one of the first steps to this process is letting your guard down and putting your pride aside and ask for feedback, right? That's not always the head coach. When you're in a position of, maybe being an analyst, GA, or position coach, or sometimes even the coordinator, maybe it's the defensive coordinator that sits in all your meetings, right? Maybe it's the position coach that works directly with you. I think asking for feedback is a huge piece of that, and also from the players as well. I think starting with feedback from the coaches, feedback from the players, and then being able to put together a collective list of things that we can improve on. I think approaching it with the mindset of there's never a problem without bringing a solution as well. And I think that's an important piece of the mindset you have to take into being very critical of yourself, but also finding ways to improve upon that. And then just finding the correlation in the things that if people are saying that there's common denominator in the people and the feedback you're getting from people, then there's a common denominator somewhere, and finding the correlation and the why behind what we're doing and trying to improve off of that by finding the why is a big piece of this.
Coach, in using that knowledge then, how do you take it and look at it to really create your personal plan for the off season, how you're going to really build this into the portfolio of things that you do as a coach?
I think it's taken, obviously every coordinator has a structure, right? You have something that you've built that you say, hey, this is my punt, or this is our kickoff, or this is our KOR. But I think at that point, it's about what did we not do well in this structure and how do we improve upon that? And I think a lot of that is, again, starting with our tape, right? And then it's going and studying other people's tape, right? Somebody else that runs the same type of return we do, or same type of protection, and seeing ways other people are doing it better than us, quite frankly. Seeing what kind of personnel people are using, and ultimately being as specific as possible is where I think the details lie, and where success is found is being as specific as possible about how we're doing things, why we're doing them, and how it shows up on tape.
Coach, what's a mistake that you see other coaches make when it comes to, trying to improve themselves, professionally?
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to almost what I just said. I think a lot of guys are willing to do a lot of work, right? But I don't think a lot of people know how to do the work in terms of watching film right now. And I think that's the biggest mistake I see in some of our young guys is they're willing to work. They want to sit in there and watch film, but they don't know how to watch film, what film to watch, and how to go about it. And I think it's especially as a young guy, be as specific as possible. Don't try to see the big picture, right? See technique, see your position, see what's being played, right? If you're a coverage guy, watch the coverage, right? And continue to learn and ask, about other things, right? But I think that's the biggest thing that I see, and the biggest mistake people make is not being as specific as possible, not having a plan going into it, right? And even applying to young guys, if you don't know, ask. Again, ask for feedback and ask how you can continue to improve.
For you, can you share an example of the work that you've done in the off season that eventually led to a major career opportunity?
Yeah, this is a good question. I thought about this one for a while and kind of seeing this. I don't have a specific example, but I'll tell you this. I think every job that I've been a part of that I've gotten, it started with me having a relationship. It wasn't an agent. It wasn't connection through this coach and that coach. It was a relationship I had with somebody, whether it be from a previous stop, from who I was as a player. So ultimately, I think the biggest thing in this business, like you hit on, is that relationships matter. Relationships still matter. We said that pre-show. And so when you look back at my work I've done in the off season, it's yes, all the studies, all the film study, all the detail you're putting into what you're doing and how to coach it. But it's also relationships, right? And picking up the phone on your way home and calling, right? Making time to text and reach out to people that that you value and value you, right? That people that like, and trust through the business that you ultimately have a relationship with. And those are the people that end up hiring you and you end up hiring. And so I think that's the biggest thing as you look for, some things that lead to career opportunities. Number one factor is relationships, period.
Coach, those are some great insights into this profession. Certainly, there's a lot we could dig into. We'd love to have you back sometime to talk more special teams and other things that you do, but I think those are great insights here for coaches looking to grow in the profession and get ready for their next move. So appreciate you taking the time, and good luck to you and the Bruins here in 2025.
100%. Really appreciate you, support you guys, and looking forward to being back.
The best coaches don't wait for opportunities, they prepare for them. Take action this offseason by evaluating your career and making sure your resume is up to date. Upload your resume to Coach Portal today so hiring coaches can find you before the next job opens up. Go to coach-portal.com, enter the code CCPODCAST for 6 free months of Coach Portal, and get ready to make your next move.